Cool and rainy once again here in Seattle as James Paxton takes them out tonight. It's the first of this 4-game series. The Mariners and the defending World Series champion Houston Astros, a fantastic pitching matchup. Two of the premier southpaws in the American League, Paxton versus Dallas Keuchel. George Springer set to lead things off for the Astros. And as we take a look at the rest of Houston's starting lineup.
Yeah, Aaron, it's been a tale of two teams. Early on, very hot in the first 6 games, but it's cooled off here the last 10. You look at their lineup for tonight. George Springer leading off. Alex Bregman hits second. Jose Altuve in the third hole tonight. Carlos Correa, Yuli Gurriel, Evan Gattis, Marwin Gonzalez, Max Stassi doing the catching, and Jake Marisnick will bat 9th. And they'll be facing James Paxton. We talked about his success against these Houston Astros last year, a 2-1 with a 1.69 ERA. There you see his numbers so far this season. The 0-1 record, 5.74, the high earned run average. But his last 2 outings, Aaron, have been much better, and he finally found that slider in Kansas City. That's going to be a big key for him in tonight's ball game. And let's take a look now at the Mariner defense. Heredia, Gordon, Haniger, left to right in the outfield. Seager, Segura, Cano, Motter, left to right in the infield. David Freitas will do the catching for the Big Maple, James Paxton on the mound.
For the Astros, they might be a little tired after their late arrival. They did not get into Seattle, into their hotel until 3 in the morning. They were the Sunday night baseball game last night, an extra inning game, no less, against the Rangers.
Great pitchers duel.
And that was fantastic. Verlander versus Bartolo Colon. Paxton missing by just enough inside for ball 1. Of course, the good news with that is that the Mariners will not be seeing Justin Verlander.
That's right.
The bad news is that the rest of the Astros rotation is also pretty good.
And they are a very solid pitching staff. Obviously, the addition of Garrett Cole was a big one. But these guys bring some good arms with them, and it's going to be a good challenge. I think this is a good test overall for the Mariners early on. The offense has been very, very hot up until yesterday, but I look for them to continue their hot swing in the bat, and getting Cruiser back in the lineup is huge.
A.J. Hinch, the skipper for the Astros, has held down just about every job you can think of in the major leagues. Former big league catcher, former first-round draft pick out of Stanford. Now Paxton, when he has missed, has barely missed. Crushed out to left center, and George Springer does this better than anybody. Leads the majors in leadoff homers dating back to 2016. And he puts another notch on his belt. It comes against Paxton, and the Astros lead 1-0.
We talked, Aaron, about Pax getting behind here a little bit. The first hitter of the ball game. Tries to lay that 3-1 fastball in there, gets it elevated just a little bit. And George Springer knows what to do with an elevated fastball. See the swing here. The pitch up about the waist or thigh high.
Swinging strike down. It's Bregman. Now for Springer, 9 leadoff homers last year. That was a single season club record. One of the best marks in American League history. Drops in a breaking ball to make it 0-2.
Good to see Pax now get right back on top, control that count. It's going to be important for him to get ahead. It's important for every pitcher to get ahead so he can begin to use his pitches effectively.
Finishes him off at 97. 3 pitches, all strikes.
Good fastball at 97. Gets Bregman swinging. Take another look at the home run. Oh, here's a strikeout right there. Good pitch. Finding that 97-mile-an-hour fastball elevated in the zone. Gets Bregman swing.
Now here's the reigning American League MVP, Jose Altuve. Altuve last year hit .346. He connected on 24 homers, and he swiped 32 bags.
That's considered a balanced attack, wouldn't you say?
Here's the number that really stands out for Altuve, Dan. I don't think you'd believe it. He slugged 10 points higher than Joey Gallo last year.
Wow. See, that's
and when you think about Jose Altuve, when he first came to the big leagues, of course came in as a National League player before the Astros came to the American League West, but he was the guy who would just spray singles all over the place, infield singles a lot of the time. He's added a major power element to his game the last couple of years. 2-2. Correa on deck with 1 out and a run in. Paxton's 2-2. Back-to-back strikeouts.
Well, that's that slider right there that we saw so much of in Kansas City with Altuve. Gets him to the 2-strike spot and then throws that good hard slider that starts in the zone, but as it gets to the plate, dives down to the lower part of the zone towards the back foot of the hitter. Tough pitch to lay off of.
So consecutive strikeouts following the leadoff home run by George Springer. Here is Correa. You know, we asked Scott Service about that slider today, wondering if that was the game plan going into his last start, and even the start before that. Paxton's thrown over 20 sliders in back-to-back starts. And really, it seems like that is the pitch that has just kind of developed his last 2 times out as his go-to power pitch, other than his fastball. We saw the velocity on it.
Well, and sometimes with starting pitchers, sometimes you'll have a situation where he might not have that slider in a particular game and might have to go to a changeup or a cutter, a different pitch that he's got in his repertoire, and that might be the pitch that he uses that particular evening. But when you have confidence in a pitch and you can go to it like he did in Kansas City, he's certainly going to continue to use it.
And cuts Correa to make it 2-2.
There it was again. Correa with a funny swing. It's nasty.
The 2-2 from Paxton. They appealed. He does not go. Paxton approaching 20 pitches here in the first. That home run by George Springer is impressive enough, especially when you consider the fact that Paxton in 4 starts last year against the Astros did not give up a single home run against one of the best hitting teams in all of baseball, let alone in the American League. Into center field, Gordon closing on it, plays it out of hop. Correa, a 2-out single.
Looks like D might have been shaken up a little bit. Looks like he might have slipped a little bit on the turf.
All right.
Was able to knock it down. Doing a good job, even though he slipped, to knock the ball down. Looked like could have skipped away from him. Giving Correa an extra base.
I'm glad he's all right as well. Got a divot to repair. Two outs. Correa aboard for Yuli Gurriel. For Gurriel, only a dozen at bats so far this year. He missed a lot of spring training at the start of the season, and the hamate bone removed from his right hand. We're seeing that good velocity right out of the gates from Paxton. That one at 95, but we've seen plenty of 97s.
Yeah, he's been anywhere from 95 to 98 with that fastball. That was a good pitch down at the bottom of the zone where he wants to be. It'll make that slider more effective as it drops out of the zone.
And that could have been strike 2, 2-1. Evens it up. The slider again.
And Maple Grove loving it up there. Got the eagle.
Now, where do you find something like that, Dan?
I don't know.
Here comes Paxton's 2-2. Right to Segura. On a Cano to end the inning. But damage dealt by the Astros on one swing. George Springer, a leadoff blast. Astros 1, the Mariners coming up. George Springer has made this a 1-0 Astros lead. Tonight, the first of 4. The Mariners coming off the series win against the Oakland A's. We'll take a look at the Mariners starting lineup.
Well, let's look at tonight's starting lineup. Jack in the box. Mariners starting lineup. Leading off will be D. Gordon. Gene Segura hitting second. Robinson Cano in the third hole. Nelson Cruz back in the lineup as the cleanup hitter. Seager, Haniger, Heredia, Motter, and Freitas round out the 9.
Now, Dan, yesterday D. Gordon saw his 12-game hitting streak this season snapped, and it took an absolutely incredible play by Matt Chapman at third base.
And a replay.
That's right.
Because it was such a good play.
Right back to Keuchel, the ground ball specialist. 2 pitches out, number 1.
Now there you take a look at the numbers for Dallas Keuchel. 3 starts on the year, 0-2 record, a 4.20 ERA. You see only 15 innings in those 3 starts, but has had a lot of success against the Seattle Mariners, especially in 2017. And we take a look at the Astros defense. Gonzalez, Marisnik, Springer around the outfield. Bregman, Correa, Altuve, Gurriel around the infield. Max Stassi will do the catching for Dallas Keuchel this evening.
Ball 1 to Segura. Look at that last start for Keuchel. Only 4 innings, 101 pitches. That was against the Twins in Minneapolis, which maybe was the last game the Twins were able to play.
They've had quite the weather up there, boy. About a foot of snow over the weekend.
Twins are on their way to play the Indians in Puerto Rico, where there's a 40% chance of rain, by the way. They're going to go about 5 days without playing a game, the Twins are. Correa into the outfield. 2 outs.
Yeah, not playing games now hurts you, but then later in the year when you got to make them all back up, make it difficult as well. Nice play here by Carlos Correa. Backhand that ball. Good strong throw to get Segura.
And to your point, you think about how backlogged you get in the back half of the schedule and how long it will take you to get into a rhythm right now.
Yeah, so it kind of hurts you on both ends.
And steps Robbie. Showing a little bit of a bunt. No shift on, but Bregman playing back. 0-2.
We mentioned the high pitch count in just the 4 innings last time out. Now really just kind of pounding the strike zone very early, getting some early ground outs. Been pretty efficient with his pitch count here in the first already. Wanted that one.
He did, not missing by a whole lot. Robbie extended his on-base streak yesterday. He's reached base every game of the season. Out of 13 games. Keuchel's 1-2. Robbie, in fact, now second in the major leagues in on-base percentage. He has been passed, at least temporarily, by Joe Mauer, Twins first baseman, who recently collected his 2000th career hit. Back to Correa. Knee high. Zion retired in order. Keuchel, no surprise, 3 ground ball outs. We go to the second, 1-0 Houston. James Paxton, a couple of strikeouts in the first inning. The home run to George Springer to begin the ball game. 1-0 Houston. Face Evan Gattis DHing tonight for the Astros. He looks at strike 1.
There's the Eagle.
Break that down for us, Dan. Do you think that's a realistic wingspan?
I believe it probably is.
And you know, I think you might be right. Do you think that was homemade? Can you buy that? I mean, that's a serious question.
I don't really have an explanation.
Gattis to left, Heredia cruising in to make the catch.
But it's very fitting for the Maple
Grove. Very, you know, in most cases, I would say it's very patriotic.
Yes.
I mean, today, with all the A cards around, it doesn't have quite that same feel.
In the maple tree.
You know, I've been talking to James about this, as everyone has. It's the mini version. It's far less impressive. And Steph's Gonzalez. I mean, James is, as you know, Dan, he's one of the most dynamic left-handed starting pitchers in the American League. This needs no reminder, but in case you've been in an Eagles nest someplace and not been able to see anything, this is what happened in the home opener at Target Field. Which, by the way, James mentioned that the Eagles' talons had been blunted, so it was not nearly as painful as you might think, although I don't think that was
Is that the correct terminology? That's excellent. Okay.
I got it from James. My favorite part of all that, by the way, was when the Eagle handler, when it was all done and he got the bald eagle back, just kind of went up to James and gave him a couple taps on the shoulder. Said, hey, thanks, man. appreciate that.
I was impressed with his. I mean, he had to go with like the bases loaded kind of a poise in that situation, don't you think? I mean, he was calm. I'd have been. I would have hit the deck.
And a center. Lee Gordon this time slides down to make the catch for round number 2. So you're saying, Dan, that you wouldn't have been running, but you would have just face planted out there in left field?
Yeah, I would have done. I would have put my mask on for sure. I'll tell you that. That would have surprised me.
Well, James made the point that he did not feel like he would be able to outrun the eagle, which was quick thinking.
That was very quick thinking.
He actually said that he was hoping that he could stand straight up. I mean, and we saw that in the film, right? He tried to slowly stand straight up to really give the eagle a perch. I mean, he was really thinking of the bald eagle. I'm not making this up. I've had in-depth conversations with James about this, which is no surprise to you, I'm sure. Stassi looks at strike 2. But as I told James, he will be known for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
I mean, he could win. He could throw a no-hitter. He could win a Cy Young, and
that's why we have the stuffed eagle.
When you Google image search James Paxton forever, you will see the eagle. And how many photographs of him with the eagle will he be requested to sign, like forever?
There's another smaller version of the stuffed eagle. That is not the actual one.
Third punch out on the day for James Paxton. The slider rearing its head once again here this evening. Side retired in order. Of the second. Nelson Cruz taking on Dallas Keuchel today by AARP. 10 for 30, a double, 3 home runs, driven in 6 strikeouts. Nelson Cruz recently activated off the disabled list after coming back from that ankle injury. Only 15 at bats still so far this season for Nelly. Correa down to his chest practically. He's been busy so far. Last 3 outs have gone his way.
A hard hit ball by Nelson Cruz here. Taking it easy on that ankle, getting down the line, but Mariners continuing to swing early in the count. Kind of attack Dallas Keuchel.
116 miles an hour off the bat.
Just 12 pitches for Dallas.
He's been cruising. Meanwhile, James Paxton an 11 pitch top of the second. Good to see after he threw over 20 in the first. Now Seager, his bat is really heating up. As you see, they have the shift on for him. You can see what his numbers have been in the last 4 games. 5-game hitting streak for Kyle. Ball to strike.
You know, that was one of the concerns he had coming in spring training. He didn't want to start out slow again this year, so it's great to see the adjustments that he made, probably more mentally than physically, to get off to a better start has really paid off for him. Just one of 2 Mariner hits yesterday.
And that following the night before, where the Mariners recorded a season best 17 hits, 4 homers. Count evens up 2-2. And we talk about how few pitches for Keuchel so far. One of the staggering numbers for Dallas so far this year. He's averaging over 20 pitches per inning. In fact, he's right near the top of the leaderboard in that category, one you don't want to be a part of if you're a pitcher. And look at, for the course of his career, he's averaged just about 15 pitches per inning, one of the best marks over the course of his time in the big leagues. The 2-2. Haniger on deck. 1 out, nobody on. Strike 3 call. Seager, you can see why, thinking ball 4. Two outs. Tomorrow the Mariners host the Astros at 7:10. It's also your next chance to take advantage of VECU value game savings. Fans can score select bleacher or view seats for $15 and Manor club seats for $30. Head on over to Mariners.com for tickets. These are the final 4 games, so 3 left after tonight to see the Mariners here in the first month of the season. Mariners going on a lengthy 3-city road trip after this. Two outs, nobody on for Mitch Haniger. And we know this about Keuchel. In an era of velocity, he does not fit that mold at all.
No, fastball around 89, 90 miles an hour, but it's his location that does it for him. And really, to me, that's been the story of pitching since day one, is being able to have good command of that fastball. And I think of a lot of guys that don't throw very hard, but their command is so good that that's what they use to be successful, and that's what Keuchel does. Saw that pitch to Seager on the strike 3 just off the plate. He's got that reputation. He'll get the benefit of the doubt on some of those calls.
Think about the Cy Young winner a couple of years ago in the American League, Rick Porcello. Not throwing much harder than 90, 91, 92 miles an hour. Strike 3 called again. Off-speed pitch, back-to-back punch out to the bats on the shoulder. 6 up, 6 down for Dallas Keuchel. Astros on top going to the top of the third inning. Well, the Orca card is all you need to ride the Sounder train, link light rail, buses, ferries, and streetcars. You can learn more by going to getorcasmart.com. Happy to have you with us here tonight on Root Sports for Mariners baseball. First to 4 with the Astros. Aaron Goldsmith, Dan Wilson. Swinging strike one to Jake Marisnick. Ahead of the fastball 0-2. Three pitches, all strikes once again. 4 punch outs, first time through the order for Paxton.
Well, uses the fastball here very effectively. He's thrown some sliders. He's thrown some sliders down. And that kind of opens up that upper lane for the fastball. You see David Freitas with a good target up and in. And Pax puts it up there. It's a tough pitch to lay off of as a hitter, especially with 2 strikes.
Here's George Springer for the second time, the solo homer to begin the ball game. For Springer, that was his 4th home run this year. It was the first that was not to the opposite field. It was also the first that was off someone other than Cole Hamels.
That's right.
3 homers, all the opposite way against Hamels. With the Mariners, if the rotation for the Rangers hold, we'll see in game 1 of the road trip in Arlington. Rushes him back, 3-1. And really, you look at it from a starting pitching standpoint for the Mariners, and it will not be easy sledding for the next 4 or 5 games, or the 5 games when you include Hamels and Arlington. A walk to Springer. 1 out, 1 on. That brings up Bregman. We mentioned the Mariners will miss Verlander, who pitched last night. On the colors, Garrett Cole and Charlie Morton, the remaining starters in this series for the Astros. Bregman struck out on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball back in the first. That ruled ball 1. Couple of hops to Segura. Cano on to Mater. Not in time. Now Scott's got his hand out.
I see Robbie gets the ball in good order, gets the turn, makes the throw. Mater with a stretch. And it looks like Bregman did just beat it.
Good call. No challenge coming by the Mariners. Two outs, Bregman aboard for Altuve. Altuve, a strikeout victim his first time around. High the opposite way. Haniger drifting back. Haniger to the wall, making the catch to end the inning. Not quite enough this time by Altuve. A man is left. We go to the bottom of the third. Refreshing finish. Altuve the opposite way, but Haniger able to leave his feet and make this catch.
Yeah, you see Mitch tracking it the whole way, getting a feel for where the wall is there with the arm. Nice catch.
Meanwhile, tag on the hip of Heredia. Correa has been very busy so far. Got to that one in a hurry. It's the second straight inning where on the first pitch Keuchel has gotten the first out.
Pitch away from him, tries to pull it. Correa with another backhand play. And a throw across, takes Gurriel up the line just a hair, but he does a nice job to get the tag onto the right calf of Heredia. But you're right, Aaron. Correa's been very busy early on.
Which I'm guessing he comes to expect every 5 days when Keuchel's up on the mound. One of the best ground ball pitchers in the last few seasons. Modern line drive into left field. Mariners first base hit of the day. Keuchel retiring the first 7. Mater, who had one of the Mariners' 2 hits yesterday afternoon against the A's.
Well, one way to get on base is to hit it over Carlos Correa, and that's what Taylor Mater does. A line drive to left field. The Mariners going here with 1 out.
David Freitas doing the catching tonight for the Mariners, batting 9th. Dan, during your work on the field during spring training, did you have a chance to work much with Dave?
Worked with David. Yeah, I had a chance to work with all the catchers, and David does a fine job behind the plate. Love what he does. I love the way he handles the pitching staff, calls a game, does a nice job with that, and has a good handle on framing pitches, and I think that's really been a benchmark for a lot of catchers today, and that's really the benchmark that teams look at, is how they handle the framing and how many strikes they get for their pitchers, and that ranking really holds a lot of water for catchers in the game today.
Now, Scott Service has praised him multiple times already this year for his work behind the plate. Mike Zunino beginning a rehab assignment with Modesto, the reigning Cal League champs.
That's right. Mitch Canham down there, manager in Modesto, and it's good to see Mike back on the field.
For 2 tonight, a double. Freitas down on strikes, 3rd punch out for Keuchel. I want to take some of your favorite ballpark home with you on Thursday. You can with Safeco Field Soil Day presented by Cedar Grove. Following the Mariners' 12:40 game against the Astros, 4,000 fans will take home a free bag of soil. Visit Mariners.com for tickets. Two outs, Mater aboard. Top of the order here is D. Gordon. Slices the first pitch, foul territory, and out of play. Gonzalez giving it a chase. Marwin Gonzalez, who you never know, you play 4-game series against the Astros, you can see him in 4 different positions.
Bring all your gloves. Take a look at the fans down the line.
That's harder than it looks. On one hop over to Gurriel to end the inning, as Keuchel has faced 1 over the minimum through 3. Well, we hope to see you out here at Safeco Field May the 4th against the Angels. 7-10 the first pitch. Now this is a bobblehead that will want to be in everyone's collection. The Kyle Seager Seago. First pitch to Correa missing.
You a Star Wars fan, Aaron?
I'm enough of a fan to want that bobblehead.
Seago?
You know, we did a Taiwan Skywalker Star Wars themed bobblehead a number of years ago. Taiwan unfortunately going on the disabled list recently for the Diamondbacks. Coming to Correa. Now the question is Kyle a Star Wars fan?
Well, let's hope at least at a minimum he's a Harrison Ford.
Time is called. Kyle, who became a TV star because of his hair flip commercial with Vin Gamble. You'll like this. My 3-year-old son, his favorite player is Kyle Seager. And when he was watching the game the other night, he saw that Mariners commercial, and the rest of the night was trying to do the Kyle Seager hair flip. Smash fouled on the right field line.
Great job with the commercials. They always do such a good job. They got to get you on there.
Well, I have some trivia for you, Dan.
Okay.
I think this is accurate. Did you know that the only member in Mariners history who has been on more commercials than you is Felix Hernandez?
Is that right?
I'm pretty sure I've got that right. And I'm not making this up. There is a spreadsheet which Kevin Martinez has. It's backed up on multiple hard drives. It's on the cloud. And that spreadsheet has tracked every Mariner player. Correa rung up at 96. 5 punch outs for Paxton.
Really good fastball here from James Paxton. 96 miles an hour. And the location is outstanding, right at the thigh level, but inside corner of the plate. Kind of backs Correa off the plate, but it does catch the strike zone for strike 3. A great pitch right there. Pax is able to control both sides of the plate right now, which is a big reason for some of his success here early on.
And I feel like I have to apologize to a Mariners Hall of Famer. Dan, I have my numbers wrong. You are the leader. Felix is second. And I feel like you knew that, and you just.
You know, Eric,
you knew that.
No. You went spreadsheet, and I thought you were lying.
No, the spreadsheet is real, and you are the clubhouse leader. 2-1 to Gurriel.
Well, they do such a great job with those commercials. They were a lot of fun over the years to do. It was kind of a highlight of spring training. And the hair flip is just another example of that.
Did you stay up all night before, nervous about memorizing your lines?
They kept them nice and short for me.
Paxton 10 strikeouts against the Royals, 5 already here tonight.
There's that slider again, just down off the plate, but trying to go for that back foot of Gurriel.
The payoff.
He's got a real good feel for the location of that, Aaron. He's putting it just at that bottom part of the strike zone on the inside corner.
Second walk from Paxton. One out of one on. Leads us to our CenturyLink What's Next. Our broadcast begins at 6:30. Lance McCullers Jr. with that fantastic curveball and high velocity fastball, making his 4th start. Lofty ERA. Has not gone deep into many games so far this year. TBA technically for the Mariners. Scott Service speaking to the media about this. As many probably know, will more than likely be Ariel Miranda. Erasmo Ramirez continues to work back on a rehab assignment, expected to pitch soon for Tacoma. Expected to get out to about 6 innings is the hope. I'll say this tonight about Paxton. We noticed it in the first, and it's still true here in the fourth. He was pretty well calibrated. When he's missing, it's not by a whole lot.
Yeah, he's gotten behind a couple of hitters here, but you're right. He's been dialed in. That fastball that he got the punch out of Correa was great location. That slider location has been outstanding as well. It's been mostly, for the most part, Aaron been down in the zone with a lot of his stuff, and then occasionally will pop that fastball at the top of the zone to get a swinging strike up there. But he's at his best when he commands that bottom part of the zone. I'd love to get a ground ball down there right now.
Hold on to by Freitas, 2-2.
There's that fastball in the upper part of the zone. Went down low with his first 3 pitches and then runs that fastball up top.
Very efficient in the second and in the third. Over 20 pitches now here in the fourth.
Good block by David Freitas there on that slider down in the dirt. Talk a lot with the catchers about blocking and the purpose behind it. Number one, keeping the runners on the bases where they're at. But number two, and maybe more important, is giving that pitcher confidence that he can throw his best pitch at any time. And that's the reason why you want to be able to throw that ball down in the dirt. Feel confident it's not going to get by you.
When we talk about the pitch count for Paxton now, this is the second straight hitter who will see at least 8 pitches. Time call. Gaddis testing the ground. Another payoff. Another foul ball. Elevated to 95.
Couple guys with the on the all beard squad.
No, between Keuchel and Gaddis.
They got some good ones.
Just going on a limb here to say that Keuchel probably takes more time to care on his than Gaddis does, just based on personality. Muscled a mile high. Looking foul, not a play. Lengthy at bat here for Gaddis. Next pitch will be number 10.
Packs up over 71 pitches now for the ball game. You mentioned his efficiency in the second and third inning. This inning, with this at bat, starting to tack on some pitches.
Segura charging, low scoop from the grass for round number 2. Gurriel, who walked, now into second base. Two outs for Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin, a switch hitter, has come a long way since the days that he was first known as the guy to break up Yu Darvish's perfect game. Known for much more than that now. And that was with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Paxton's 1-0. Makes it 2-0.
See Paxton, I try to get ahead a couple of these hitters with that curveball. Hasn't been able to land that. It's gotten him behind a couple of counts where he's had to work his way back. Good feel for the slider, but the curve early in the count just hasn't been there for him.
It seems like a pitch that he has been trying to refine, I say all season, not even through April, but through his first few starts, trying to really get a good feel for it. Looked like he got some strides, took some strides in his last start against Kansas City. Stassi on deck, the catcher. Now Freitas out for a word. It's 3 straight 3-ball counts for Paxton. That's a curveball that's really evolved for James too. Of course, James has evolved in his delivery. Used to be way over the top. Arm angle has dropped since then, but that curveball used to be a real sharp 12-6 at 81, 82 miles an hour. Now a little velo off. Arm angle different, of course.
Yeah, tonight's just been dropping just below the zone, which is where you want to miss with it. But when you're trying to land that for a first pitch strike, to get ahead, you want to get that pitch in the zone.
Seager's had a pretty quiet night defensively. He ends the top of the 4th. Gurriel stranded in scoring position. We go to the home half. Final local agent at Safeco.com. Do more. And by Amtrak Cascades. What a beautiful way to travel. Visit AmtrakCascades.com. Palmy Falls a couple of days ago as the Astros lead the Mariners 1-0. Making our way to the home 4th. Segura, Cano, and Cruz all coming up. First pitch strike. Soft pop up. Altuve making the catch. 1 out. Well, join us tomorrow during the Mariners game for Twitter Tuesday. You'll have 5 chances to win exciting prizes just by interacting with us on Twitter throughout the game. We'll be posting questions and, of course, want to hear from you. So be sure to watch and follow us on Twitter at RootSports_NW. For giveaway rules, visit us at RootSports.com. Here's Robbie. High chopper. Gurriel. Keuchel. Now the efficiency continuing. 3 pitches, 2 outs.
See Robbie hustling down the line, but a nice play. And a flip to Keuchel covering. You mentioned the efficiency, Aaron. It's a lot of first pitch swinging for the Mariners. They're being aggressive early against Keuchel. It's hard to believe that he's had almost 100 pitches in 4 innings.
You're right.
Last time out, we're almost through the 4th, and he's at 36 this time out.
2 down for Cruz. And what do you do if you're the next man up facing Keuchel and you see him getting through an inning so quickly, because you know he's throwing first pitch strikes? You can't wait around, and yet you want to work that pitch count up and give Paxton some more time. And
Yeah,
now it's 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why Keuchel is efficient tonight. He's been getting ahead, pounding that zone, and it's making it difficult for the Mariner hitters. If you're not swinging early, you're behind.
Two now. I mean, 13 is the high water mark. A 9-pitch third, and that's actually when he faced his most hitters. Smoke to left. Does it have enough height? Yes, it does. Home run, Nelson Cruz. Tied ball game. Number 3 on the season for Nelly.
Good to see Nelly get back into the home run department. Just 2 days off the disabled list. Nelly back at it. It's a little breaking ball, middle of the plate. Just drops the head. And you're right, Aaron, just did have enough to clear the fence in left field. Got his arms extended. Great swing by Nelly. Get the Mariners on the board to tie it up. Little life down there, little new life. They needed that.
And Cruz limited at bats, of course, because of being on the disabled list. Now 4 hits on the season, 3 of them were home runs. One and one to Kyle.
Back to your point, Aaron. Nelly got behind 0-2, saw a couple pitches out of the zone, and then was able to get the count back in his favor a little bit more with the 2-2 pitch, and then was able to hit it out. So Mariner hitters see Kyle now with a 2-1 count, maybe being a little bit more patient with Keuchel, hoping to find the mistake in the middle of the plate.
Shift is on. Correa over to end the inning. But Nelson Cruz, his 4th career home run against the former Cy Young Award winner Dallas Keuchel. We're all tied up.
No, I would.
Brand new ball game, all tied up. James Paxton, 5 strikeouts over the first 4 innings. Only run for the Astros, that leadoff home run by George Springer to begin the ball game. Dueling solo shots, Springer and Cruz. Here's the catcher, Stassi. There's that curveball to the first pitch, strike 1.
Better pitch there in the zone. Stassi swinging at it, but a good pitch. Good way to get ahead.
The numbers last year for Paxton against the Astros were almost kind of a joke. We all know the lineup the Astros have, obviously winning the World Series. Gave up a grand total of 4 runs in 4 starts facing Houston last year. Strike 3 called. Stassi caught looking at a fastball. 6 punch outs for Paxton now. This season, when you're at Safeco Field, don't forget to visit the Seattle Children's Playfield, designed for both children and parents. The whole family can enjoy the playground, wishing well, concessions, team store, and TV monitors, so you won't miss a single pitch.
Gotta love to see Pax with that opening strike out there after getting back on the board, tying the game up. This is a big inning to kind of shut Houston down. Keep that momentum in your dugout. Keep the fires burning. Get some more runs.
Second one called a strike, 1-1. Tied him up, 1-2.
See Freitas taking a brunt to that. Look at all kinds of things back there, Aaron. Can't escape it.
Just foul. Still 1-2. When we look at, especially in super slow-mo, the damage that a catcher takes on a nightly basis, I don't know how you guys walk the next day.
We love it. We love it.
The 1-2. Another foul ball. And Marisnick has really become a pretty dynamic player for the Astros. Covers all kinds of ground in the outfield. Good pop at the plate. Another 1-2.
Trying to get Marisnick to chase that slider down there again. Been an effective pitch for him. See Marisnick started to swing, started to think about it, but held up.
It's not as firm of a slider as we'll see from Paxton. Another strikeout back to back to open the 5th. Now 7 on the night for James Paxton. Time now for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. It was Springer leading off the ball game, 454 feet.
It's that 3-1 fastball.
There is Springer reaching base for the 3rd time. Home run, a walk, now a single into right. Two outs, a man aboard for Alex Bregman. Last postseason, Bregman did not hit for a particularly high average, but he did hit 4 very impressive home runs. mostly because of who he hit them off of. 2 off of Chris Sale, 1 off of Kenley Jansen, one of the best closers in the National League in all of baseball, and then the 4th home run against Clayton Kershaw. On a strike. .90 pitches now for Paxton. There goes Springer. Breaking ball, soft chopper, Seager, bare hand to first base, in time, got him. A.J. Hinch will take a moment to take a look, as you might imagine.
It's a really impressive play, Aaron. Cal charging that ball hard and made just a strong throw. See him barehanded there. And on the run, a good strong throw. And it's mighty close at first.
This is the 2nd time up where we have seen a play at first involving Bregman that has warranted at least a look at the monitor. This time they will actually review it.
See Motter with the stretch, hits his glove. Wow. That might be too inconclusive to overturn.
You know, we talk all the time about how the ball has to be in contact with the back of the glove, and this is one of the few times where the ball might actually be encased by the glove without touching the back of the glove by the time that foot gets down. And it was that close.
Seen some good plays from third baseman on that play. We saw the one yesterday with D. Gordon that was close.
Now Seager could not have played it any better. The result, it stands. Bregman out number 3. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Mariners a chance to take the lead. Heritage Distilling BSB Brown Sugar Bourbon. You can't spell baseball without BSB. Ball game tied at 1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. A couple of solo homers. Springer and Cruz, some likely suspects. Go down to the Ford Sports Desk. We bring in Dave Valley. Hey Val, we were really excited for this pitching matchup. 2 premier left-handers in the American League. What have you made so far of Keuchel and Paxton?
You know, I think coming in, I think we all anticipated a very well-pitched game. You've got Paxton, the big power guy that can overpower just about any lineup, and then you got Keuchel, who is the absolute opposite, where he's more of a finesse guy, change up, locating his fastball. So I think we're seeing both of these guys pitch on top of their game. James coming off of that 10 strikeout victory, against the Kansas City Royals, and he really picked up right where he left off.
This is Haniger leading things off in the home fifth.
Val, what do you think has been the biggest key for Pax so far? It looks like his slider back to where it was the previous start with Kansas City. Yeah, and that's really been a big pitch for him again tonight.
You know, we've seen that pitch really develop over the last couple of years as well. You know, he's been able to really locate it and get that good depth on it where it's not staying on that same plane coming into the right-handed hitters. And he is so good. I mean, he has the talent to become a #1 guy. I think he has the talent to become an eventual Cy Young Award winner if he can continue to kind of back these up one after another. And the one thing that I remember when he first got to the big leagues was his ability to pitch into the righties, both with the fastball and with that slider. And I think when he does that, he really kind of neutralizes that right-handed hitting lineup like we're seeing tonight.
It's a great point because he's got that slider that's so devastating down in the zone, down to that back foot on the right-handers especially. And then he's able to explode that fastball in. And when he gets it up at the upper part of the strike zone or in towards the right-hander's hands, that's a really devastating combination.
Yeah, just very uncomfortable for a right-handed hitter. And I think both you and I, who caught Randy Johnson when Randy was good and he was able to throw that fastball inside, you'd see guys take swings at his slider, and that slider would end up hitting their back foot, or you and I would have to be blocking the ball in the dirt because of that movement on it. And again, you can't cover both of those pitches, so when you know you've got command of each and every one of those, it's going to be a rough night for the hitters.
You know, I asked Dan, Val, about 2 pitches before Nelson Cruz went deep. I asked him, well, how in the heck do you combat a guy like Keuchel tonight who is so spot on with his command? He's been so efficient with his pitches. How in the world do you make him grind out a little bit and give your pitcher, in this case Paxton, a little more time? And then of course Nelson Cruz comes up and hits a home run. So I guess maybe it's is it that easy? You bring Nelly up there?
There you go. Well, I tell you what, you know, not having Nelson Cruz in this lineup, you just sense that there's a big hole. But when he's in there, there's something special about what he does for a lineup. We saw him do that last year. This guy is he's a special hitter. He's a veteran, a guy who has learned over the years. Really didn't start playing baseball till a very late age compared to most guys here in America. So we're seeing the best of Nelson Cruz right now, and just so good to see him back in the lineup and off that you know, overcoming the slight injury here early in the season.
No, you're right, Val. Thank you so much for the insights. We'll be hearing from Val once this one's over with. Mariners post-game presented by Alaska Airlines. 2 outs for Motter, 2 quick outs, and strike 1. And he's right about Nelson Cruz. This is a point that I should bring up from time to time. He was really more into basketball as a kid in the Dominican than he was to baseball. There was basketball courts near his home that had lights. After school, Nelson would go work at his uncle's auto mechanic shop. And when he was done with work, he could go play basketball under the lights. Bregman charges once again. A very quick bottom of the 5th for Dallas Keuchel. It's out of the 6th inning, all tied at 1. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Steel. To find your local Steel dealer, visit steeldealers.com. By CHI Franciscan Health, the Mariners' official partner in health. Get your guide to living Northwest healthy at nwhealthy.org/Mariners. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. We'll look down I-90 as the Mariners and the Astros all tied at 1. We go to the top of the 6th. Well, nothing stirring, at least right now, in the bullpen. 91 pitches for Paxton. Paxton has at least 1 strikeout in each inning so far. This will help out James. First pitch, 1 out. Gordon able to stab it. And Altuve 0 for 3. That's always a tough thing to do. This Thursday, the Mariners take on the Astros. It's a special 12:40 start time here at Safeco Field. A perfect opportunity to take a 9-inning lunch break and sample some of the new ballpark fare. Din Tai Fung, Jack's Barbecue, much more. You can get your tickets at mariners.com. Jack's out of the pen. Din Tai Fung along the concourse on the home plate side of things.
Makes you hungry, doesn't it?
I'm well taken care of. I made another stop to Din Tai Fung again tonight.
Crushed it.
Here's Carlos Correa. For Correa, it was his 8th inning walk last night that snapped the perfect game, being spun by 44-year-old Bartolo Colon. It was a double by Colon's former teammate in Oakland, Josh Reddick, who snapped the no-hitter. Very next batter.
.44 years old for Bartolo. Had it all going. Had a good movement going.
If I had it all going, when you're talking about Bartolo, you mean his fastball?
Yeah,
because it seems like that's basically the only thing that he throws.
But with incredible movement.
Balls at a strike now.
It was interesting, they were talking last night about that during the perfect game, that usually you don't talk to the pitcher or kind of isolate him. And it seemed like he was down there laughing and talking, and it was very different than what you normally see during a perfect game.
Very gregarious.
There you go. See this spiked pitch by James Paxton. Talking about Freitas getting beat up a little bit tonight. That one gets him in the chest protector as well.
Third walk from Paxton. It comes with a 1 out. Correa aboard for the second time. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. 2 pitches shy of the century mark for Paxton. Bullpen now moving around. Nick Vincent. Here's Gurriel with 1 out and 1 on.
There you see Nick getting loose down in the Mariner bullpen. This will be Pax's 100th pitch. Good breaking ball. Get himself back into the count. Love to get that ground ball right here. Get that double play.
To the gap in right center. Haniger having an angle back for it. Haniger glides and he makes the catch. Correa back to first. Haniger with a couple of gems tonight.
It's a long run here for Mitch Haniger. You see, in outfield play, the angle you take to the ball is so important, and Mitch just does a great job of tracking this ball down at a good angle. You see Pax, he's enjoying it for sure. Great catch out there by Mitch Haniger.
Correa back to the bag. Gaddis had a 10-pitch at bat his last time up. Ended up grounded out to Segura at short. And regardless of the outcome, this might be the final batter for James Paxton. Can't get much better. 2-0 though.
Very good location on that slider. That's the area he's been down with that pitch. When he's tried to throw it for a strike, he's been down in that down and in area just off the plate. Paxton take a walk around the mound. A couple of pitches close there. He feels like he could have gotten at least one of those.
There's the strike.
Just been so dominant down in that lower part of the strike zone when he's wanted to be down there, and could throw that 95 to 98 mile-an-hour fastball down low. That's a tough pitch to do anything with.
To Segura. The short way to Cano. James Paxton. A quality start here tonight. Just 1 run over 6 innings against this Astros lineup. I'll be sure to stick around once this one's over with for Mariners post-game presented by Alaska Airlines. Have a chance to hear from James Paxton. It's been a good night for James. 7 strikeouts, 1 run over 6 innings. Keuchel, meanwhile, 55 pitches through 5 innings as he starts Freitas off with strike 1. Dan, you were mentioning one of the great buzzwords or buzz terms in baseball, pitch framing, earlier when talking about Freitas. And one of the things I find so interesting about it, most of us, when we think about pitch framing, we think about the glove itself. But I know we've talked before about really your positioning can be a part of it too. As Freitas pokes this into left field, Marwin Gonzalez in front of the track. Freitas legging it out for 2. He slides in, he's safe. Go ahead, run in scoring position.
David Freitas with a hustle double into second base. Gets a pitch down and in. He pulls down to the left fielder. See the swing there from Freitas. It's a ball down that he pulls down in that left field corner. Marwin Gonzalez gloves it, gets a throw in, but Freitas slides in safely to second. And the Mariners have something cooking here. Another little slip by Gonzalez in the outfield.
Freitas at second now for D. Gordon. Gordon into right field, and Springer trips. Freitas getting the wave home. Springer just now gets to the ball, and D. Gordon has just given the Mariners a 2-1 lead.
Well, D. Gordon trying to get Freitas over to third base, and he'll do more than that. Gets a pitch out over the plate that he pulls into right field, and George Springer having a little trouble out there in right field. He trips. Ball drops in front of him. Freitas comes around to score easily, and Gordon into second base easily. And you can see Keuchel not liking that. Big break for the Mariners.
Segura goes after the first pitch. Now remember, new turf put in this year, this offseason here at Safeco Field. 1-1. A couple of divots now out there in the outfield tonight.
Segura squaring the bunt there, just trying to do what he can to get Gordon over to third base, so the Mariners can add on to the 2-1 lead. See what he does here.
Foul over by third.
See Mel Stottlemyre talking to Pax down there in the dugout.
James, 1 run over 6. Now for the Mariners, their first leadoff hit of the game to begin an inning, that is, has scored. Correa. 1 down. Gordon stays put at second. That brings up Cano.
That's Keuchel's 12th ground out of the night to just 1 flyout. He has 3 strikeouts as well, but has been so effective keeping the ball on the ground.
I know it's only 3 starts to go off of, but look at the ground ball rates on some of his individual pitches. His fastball, 75% ground ball rate. His changeup, which he doesn't throw a ton, but he does throw his changeup, 100% ground ball rate. Of course, one of the best ground ball pitchers in baseball the last few years. Well, this is nothing new. No 1 to Robbie. And it was Cruz who tied it in the 4th. D. Gordon has given the Mariners the lead in the 6th. A day after his hitting streak of 12 games this year came to a close. awfully odd that we are in the 6th inning. We have not seen Cano on base yet tonight. 12 walks on the season for Robbie. He's tied with Aaron Judge for the most in the American League entering today. One and two. Never takes much to bring D. Gordon in from second. The 1-2. Cano down swinging. First strikeout for Keuchel since the 3rd.
A good curve.
Last time up for Nelson Cruz. Tied the game up with his 3rd home run of the season.
This one was a line drive right down there into the Houston bullpen.
Colin McHugh getting out of the way of that. He knows better than to try to catch it.
One of the few mistakes that Keuchel's made tonight.
Nelson has put up good numbers in his career against Dallas Keuchel, and that was his 4th career home run against the lefty. He's ahead 2-0.
Really trying to work that outside corner on Cruiser. They do have first base open here with 2 outs and a lefty on Kyle Seager on deck, so going to be particularly careful with Mr. Cruz.
That, by the way, was only the 2nd home run allowed this year by Keuchel. Omar Mazara of the Rangers had the other. This is turning out to be maybe the most taxing inning so far for Keuchel.
That was pitch number 70. But you're right, he's thrown a lot of pitches here in this particular inning.
At least relative to the first 5. Ellie had 3 and 1.
Stassi and Keuchel making sure they get it right here. 3-1 count with Cruz.
And put him on. A 2-out walk, first walk tonight from Dallas Keuchel. Well, this MLB season, get the baseball game that will have you wanting to play it again. RBI Baseball 18 delivers all new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now for Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, iOS, and Android. Learn more at rbigame.com. Vincent and now Zepchinski getting loose. When we get to the 7th, the bottom 3rd will be due up for the Astros. It will begin with switch hitter Marwin Gonzalez. Left on left, we'll see what Kyle Seager can do here. Of course, no left-handed hitter has more home runs against left-handed pitchers in recent seasons than Kyle Seager. And it's not particularly close.
That was Keuchel's 20th pitch this inning, which is definitely the high water mark for him in this particular game.
No doubt. Ball and 2 strikes. Since 2015, Seager has 32 left-on-left homers. Looking for his first this year. In comparison, Bryce Harper has 18. Keuchel barely work up a sweat until now. Two on and 2 out. Bottom of the 6th. Seager caught looking on the fringe. A couple of men are left, but a run does score as the Mariners have taken a 2-1 lead. Start 1 run, 3 hits over 6, and plenty of strikeouts once more.
Yeah, 7 strikeouts on the night. Really a nice job with his slider again tonight, and he used his fastball effectively up in the zone, getting those swinging strikeouts in there, and a couple of called strikeouts on the inside corner. This one to Correa right there, and really good command of the upper part of the zone and the lower part of the zone, and really kept this Houston lineup in check all night long.
Our Beacon Plumbing call to the pin. Nick Vincent now on to work for the Mariners.
Hey, take a look at Nick's numbers. This will be his 8th appearance, the 1-0 record, 3 holds, 4.76 ERA. Opponents average 292. You know Nick with that fastball cutter combination.
He's working for the 3rd straight day. Ran it 2 days ago, just 5 pitches. Here's Marwin Gonzalez. First pitch strike. Nick will take that 0-1. Quickly 0-2.
Chance to see that fastball on the first pitch away, and then that cutter that he uses a lot, that one inside and toward the hands of the hitter.
Meanwhile, for Paxton, his last 2 starts, you're looking at a combined 12 innings, 17 strikeouts, and 3 total runs. Inside. With the shift on. looking.
Well, after some pitches inside off the plate, Nick throws that backdoor cutter to Gonzalez. Really well located, just catching that outside corner, but a good job of pitching there. Start him away early, go in, and then finish him off away late. Good job of pitching.
First man retired. Here's Max Stassi, the catcher. High strike one.
Another good cutter from Vincent. Looks like pitchers have been able to expand the zone, Aaron, side to side more than down at the lower part. They've been able to get a couple more pitches on the corner and off the plate, away or in versus down. Umpire Brian Gorman given the wider plate tonight,
as we've seen a number of times. So are you saying that this is in part the doing of the pitchers on both sides that have allowed that to happen in the later innings? Or it's just kind of happened that way in the later innings?
It's kind of happened that way, and they'll take what they can get. And they find out pretty quickly that they can expand it away or off the plate.
Still 0-2. Tonight, the first of 4 against the defending World Series champions. Zimchinski's still up in the pen. Dan Altavilla has joined the mix now. Another 0-2. Routine pop up. Robbie's got his eyes on it. 2 outs. Get home field advantage on Silver Bullet Saturdays. Download the Coors Light XP Rewards app and start earning points towards rewards like Mariners tickets and Coors Light here while supplies last. Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Well, Nick just coming in throwing strikes. That's 9 pitches now for Nick. 8 strikes. Doing a great job of filling up that zone. Continuing to keep those Houston hitters on their toes. Resnick with 2 punch outs already tonight.
1-1. Finding the bank of lights a little bit, and he prevails. Side retired in order. 1-2-3, top of the 7th. Time to stretch. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to play Washington's lottery. Roof closed once again. Mariners on top 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Dallas Keuchel has been tough, but the Mariners getting a solo homer by Nelson Cruz. RBI double D. Gordon. Mariners with the lead, looking for more. Here is Mitch Haniger, tied for the major league lead and runs batted in entering tonight with 15. Mitch has driven in 7 runs in his last 3 games.
Yeah, I know.
It's not been his pattern to go 2-0 on many hitters tonight.
No, you're right. That's a good point. Let alone 3-0.
That was pitch number 80. So fatigue not a factor at this point.
Ballpark will hold it. Marisnik is there. And on 3-0, Haniger flies to center. We'll go down to the Ford Sports Desk. What's going on, Angie?
Guys, admittedly, it was a long time ago, but I have no idea what my first Mariner game was, but that doesn't have to happen to you. If you come to your first Mariner game, you got to pick up one of these. They're a certificate, and it's, you know, I attended my first Seattle Mariners game, and it has the date and your name and everything else, and you can frame this afterwards. They have them right here at the guest services. There's also another place up on the 300 level where you can get that. They also have guest services center in the pen, concierges, so guys, really cool thing.
No, good PSA there. Thank you, Angie. Good to know. Definitely must have for your first Mariners game. It's Heredia doubles to the gap in right center with 1 out.
Well, Aaron, Heredia been very aggressive early in the count all night tonight. Gets a pitch up in the zone about belt high, middle of the plate, just drives this ball to right center field, and he's thinking 2 all the way out of the box. Hustles into second base, high throw. Runners in scoring position with 1 out.
RBI chance, Taylor Motter. Looks at strike 1. Motter had the first hit for the Mariners tonight. Single back in the 3rd.
I love the post home run hair flip yesterday, Robbie.
That's good to see, the first of the year. You could tell that Taylor had been working on that, keeping it sharp over the offseason. Correa can't get there. Heredia to 3rd. He's safe. Runners on the corners, 1 out.
Well, Correa's had a lot of action at shortstop tonight. Was not able to glove this one on a dive. And Heredia had to stop and freeze. And you don't see that throw from the left fielder being that close at 3rd base on a runner very often. But you see Heredia having to freeze on that ball, make sure it goes through. And then hustling into 3rd base. Quick throw, but he's in there before the tag.
Bregman giving the dugout the international sign for him. I don't know. No challenge though by A.J. Hinch. There's Freitas, runners on the corners, 1 out. Freitas a double. His last at bat.
Kind of a whole new language. It's kind of evolved from the instant replay. You got the.
That's right.
We're going to review
earmuffs.
it. Yeah.
Cupping the ears. One thing we know in the era of replay is that anytime there's any play remotely close, one player or the other, depending on which way the rule goes against, will signal to the dugout and point vigorously, and maybe 40% of the time they actually take a look at it.
That's right.
Two and one. Now does not take a hit here to bring in Heredia. As now Nicasio getting loose. We saw Altavilla earlier, Zabchinski as well. Of course, Vincent took over for Paxton. 2-2.
Freitas with the double last inning. 1 for 2 night. Did a nice job with Paxton. And so far with Vincent.
Scored the go-ahead run.
He's taking a few blows back there, but
sixth strikeout for Keuchel. 2 outs. D. Gordon a chance to drive in his second run tonight. He has started a new hit streak. Saw his 12-gamer snapped. That tied up the longest hit streak in the majors this year. Marcell Ozuna of the Cardinals had a 12-game streak. Gurriel at first base for an out number 3. Runners stranded on the corner. 7 innings complete. Mariners by a run. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Jack in the Box. This season, a Mariners double play means free jumbo jacks from Jack in the Box. By BNSF, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. By CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. And by Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. Getting late in this one, onto the top of the 8th. Mariners clinging to a 1-run lead. They will bring out Juan Nicasio to pitch the 8th and face the top 3rd of this Astros order.
take a look at Juan Nicasio getting loose. Mariners setup man is making his 8th appearance on the year. 5.87 ERA, 7 2/3 innings, 8 strikeouts to just 1 walk. Opponents hitting .267. Juan will feature that 93-94 mile-an-hour fastball and a slider. And his job is simple: hold this game right where it is and get it to the 9th.
His first pitch to Springer. Pours it over for strike 1. For Springer, The lone run so far for the Astros. His 4th this season. Nicasio had yesterday off, worked the first 2 games against the A's. Back-to-back sliders, 0-2. Triples up on it.
A couple of sliders in the strike zone, first called strikes, and then able to throw that one off the plate away, try to get him to chase. Kind of sets up a good fastball right here.
The 1-2. Let's Cano get to it. 1 down.
Well, it went back to the slider again, Aaron, and got this one right just off the plate. And Springer out there chasing that pitch and hit a weak ground ball to Robbie. Great job of pitching right there. Good sliders.
Well, Springer makes it out for the first time tonight. Here's Alex Bregman. We're still getting to know Nicasio a little bit and how he likes to operate. He's last year leading the National League in appearances, pitching in the American League for the first time in his career. I think the challenge for Scott Service is how to get Nicasio in there enough. I mean, he has really the opposite issue of most relievers, that you can't overuse them. For Nicasio, he almost thrives when that ends up happening. He said it himself, he gets better the more he is used.
Likes to work, likes to get the ball, likes to be in these situations. And you got to love handing the ball to a guy like that.
Sent very conveniently tonight, needing to call on his number with a 1-run lead in the 8th. Very close, 2-1. Dan, what about expanding the zone?
They didn't get that one. It is a little surprising.
Maybe not low enough.
Good pitch right there. Good slider just off the plate.
Gordon drifting back. Finds out number 2. Well, fans, our annual Ultimate Fan Contest has officially returned. Root Sports will be looking for the ultimate fan in the state of Oregon throughout the month of April. So send us a photo and a story on our website at rootsports.com/ultimate-fan. And you could win a VIP trip for 2 to Seattle in September, a personalized jersey, and much more. Official rules can be found at rootsports.com.
Well, you mentioned Springer getting out for the first time. He's 2 for 3 on the night. The rest of the team for Houston's 1 for 23. And probably a big reason why they've cooled off here after that first week of the season.
That one rolled strike 1. Now Altuve 0 for 3. Not an easy guy to make go 0 for 4.
We got expansion on that first one. See?
There it is.
It's back.
Altuve, annually a 200 hit guy. It's incredible. In his career, he has more games with multiple hits than he has games without a hit.
Really good slider there. Great location on that pitch. Starts out in the strike zone. And as it approaches the hitter, just creates that depth just down off the outside part of the plate. Great pitch. See what he does here. He's really liked that slider and might probably go back with it again here.
To center, Gordon charging, puts on the brakes. Mariners bullpen, Vincent and Nicasio 6 up, 6 down. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Gene Segura, then Robinson, Cano, and of course, Nelson Cruz. Our Columbia Bank difference of the game. I don't normally think of D. Gordon driving in David Freitas. You might normally think the other way around, but in this case, the go-ahead RBI, D. Gordon.
Yeah, well-placed pitch, well-placed double right there to score David Freitas, who had doubled the previous at-bat. Puts the Mariners ahead 2-1, and let's see if we can add one on right here.
I go back out there. First pitch strike to Segura. Slicing out to right field. Springer. 1 out. The Mariners Team Store Fan Dream Stakes contest is going on now. When you stop by any of the 5 Mariners Team Stores to sign up, you're automatically entered to win one of 10 great prizes, including authentic Mariners apparel, a photo with a player, or even the chance to throw out the first pitch. Stop by a Mariners Team Store to enter. I'm still trying to extend that on-base streak. 13 games so far this year, yet to get on base tonight, however. Altuve gives away to Correa. Low throw, but handled by Gurriel. Kind of more of the same for Keuchel. Of course, a ground ball out, but now 3 pitches this inning, 2 outs.
That's for Correa. That's his 8th assist on the night. He's been very, very busy down there at shortstop.
No surprise, Edwin Diaz warming up. 1-run lead for the Mariners. Middle third of the order due up in the 9th for the Astros. It begins with Correa. Ball into Cruz. Breaks his bat. Correa going out. Marlon Gonzalez coming in. And the side retired in order on a handful of pitches. Edwin Diaz coming out to work the 9th, trying to lock this one down.
some things are just here to stay. And I don't know if that's one eagle that's making the rounds in the outfield or if there's a bunch of really big eagles. I don't care. I love it. The hashtag to use is where I represented by Alaska Airlines. And when you use that hashtag, it gives us permission to use your photo, like Gary here, visiting from Spokane to watch the Mariners. Hopefully you are enjoying yourself. Edwin Diaz getting set to come in. He is in. He's got his warm-up tosses in. He's after his 7th save of the season. Coming up, we will heap some well-deserving praise on guys like tonight's starter, James Paxton, D. Gordon, who started a new hitting streak. Lots to get to coming up on Mariners Postgame presented by Alaska Airlines. Guys.
All right, thank you, Angie. The numbers for Diaz this year has been simply electric. He faces Carlos Correa, a fellow countryman, to begin the 9th. 96 inside. Both from Puerto Rico. Diaz just recently turning 24, Correa 23.
A couple of good fastballs by Diaz to start off. Correa's going to have to get the heart of this Houston lineup. He has been pretty consistent, 6 for 6 in his save opportunities. Done such a great job. Brings a lot of electricity to the ballpark. I love it.
Slider misses 2-1. Josh Reddick getting ready for a pinch hit appearance. Another slider missing, 3-1. Leadoff walk. Just the 2nd walk this year for Edwin Diaz. Tying run at first. And a go ahead at the plate, Yuri Gurriel. Rushes him back at 95.
It looks like early on Edwin's missing that inside part of the plate to right-handers with his fastball. See if he can make the adjustment here.
Crack to center. D. Gordon going back for round number 1.
See this ball hit right at D, but he tracks it the whole way. Great job out there. His line drives right at you are the toughest plays, and he called that in easily for the first out of the inning. Here in Houston, not having a base runner pass first base since the 4th inning.
Pinch hitter Josh Reddick. Paxton was dynamite tonight. Vincent and Nicasio 6 up, 6 down combined. The 0-1. 0-2.
A good slider down in the dirt. A great play by David Freitas, keeping this ball down in front of him. Keeping that runner at first base. It's tough to do on that 90-mile-an-hour slider. Freitas again with a good block.
The 1-2. Got him swinging. A vicious slider. 2 outs.
We've seen a good slider from Edwin tonight. This one down out of the zone. More on the outer half of the plate. And Reddick just out in front, swings over the top of it. Good pitch.
First pitch to Marwin Gonzalez. Strike 1. Tying run at first base for the Astros. 2 outs, top of the 9th. There goes Correa. Throw down. You can see how wide Freitas was set up outside. Stolen base for Correa. And I got a piece of Correa on the slide in.
You mentioned Freitas, Aaron. I think the Mariners were expecting Correa to run on this pitch. David set up way off the plate outside. Throw up the line a little bit and gets Correa in the back. Freitas and Edwin just making sure they're on the same page with the signs with that runner at second base.
Correa the tie-in run. The 1-1. Good stop.
You want Diaz to throw that slider down. David doing a nice job of keeping it all in front of him. Gives Edwin that confidence to continue to go to it.
Diaz the 2-1. 2-2.
Well, back to the slider here, down at the back foot of the lefty. Freitas there all over it again. Seen some good sliders tonight.
Started with Pastime, you're right.
Yep.
And now into Diaz.
And Nicasio.
Absolutely. Diaz now 1 strike away. His 2-2. Gonzalez stays alive. There's another slider.
Gonzalez out front. This one gets a piece of Freitas on his leg.
Here comes Robbie. Now what might this be about, Dan?
I'm guessing again it's about the signs with Correa out at second base, making sure that they're not relaying signs into the hitter.
Now this inning began with a leadoff walk to Correa, who then stole second. Diaz trying to work around it. 2 outs and a 2-2. Full count. Brian McCann would pinch hit next. Diaz 3-2. Mariners win. Diaz does it again.
Talked a lot about the slider, Aaron, and there it was again for strike 3 to Gonzalez. Great pitch down at the bottom of the strike zone. Threw a lot of good ones tonight, and this was probably his best one right there. Middle of the plate, but down at the bottom of the zone. Gonzalez just swings over the top of it. And a big win for the Mariners to open up the series tonight.
Huge win. Mariners took 2 out of 3 against the A's. They take game 1 against the Astros on a night where Dallas Keuchel was fantastic. They were able to scratch 2 runs, and that proves to be enough.
Yeah, you can't help but feel like they kind of snuck away with a win tonight. As good as Keuchel was on the mound for Houston, gave up a couple of mistakes, and that's the difference in the ballgame. Great job by James Paxton on our side to really keep Houston in check.
Mariners win it. Dave, Bradley, it's all yours.
Well, gentlemen, thank you. Cruz had the home run to get the Mariners going. And then they add another run in the 6th inning. Bullpen 9 up, 9 down. Eddie Diaz yet to give up a hit. Val 7 for 7. He's unhittable. And look, and how about the swing and misses tonight on the sliders?
It's something when you have a closer that has that type of confidence that he can go out there and shut the door late in the ballgame. And we're seeing that from Eddie Diaz right now early in this season, which is a great sign. But you got to tip your hat to James Paxton, who did an outstanding job coming off a great outing against the Kansas City Royals where he struck out 10 in 6 innings. Today he strikes out 7 in 6 innings. Another solid performance. Things could have went kind of off the rails real early. First home run, Springer hits the home run, but he came right back, stayed with his game plan, and was outstanding.
He got his first win of the year, and the man catching him, David Freitas, scored the go-ahead run in the 6th inning. He's standing by with Jen Mueller.
Yeah, plenty of action behind the plate. Let's start with Diaz and the way that he finished that game. How did you see him, even after the leadoff man reached base, control the emotions and control the overall situation?
You know what? Diaz has got electric stuff. So if I go fastball or slider, it's going to be a good pitch. So at the end of the day, I went out there and asked him, I said, hey, what's feeling good today? He goes, my slider's feeling real good today. And I said, here we go. We're going all sliders in.
That was one of the mountain visits that you had today. You also went out and talked to Paxton at one point. It looked like the Astros were making him work, driving up that pitch count. How much of that was his rhythm versus their approach?
Yeah, you know what? I thought Paxton threw the ball well. You know, we had a couple close calls, and it could have went either way, and it would have changed the at-bats too. I thought he threw well, and I just went out there that 3-0 count, and I said, Pax, what do you want to throw right here? You want to go get him? He said, yeah, I'm going to go get him with a 2-seam, and he rolled it over and got the guy out the end of the inning. So asking the pitchers has been working out for me.
It certainly has. You get Pax's first win of the season, in part because of the base hit you had. You haven't faced Keuchel before. What did you take from your first at-bat into the second?
You know what? I told myself, you know what, David, you got to see that ball up because everything's sinking down, sinking down, sinking down. So I told myself, see something up and drive it. And I got one and put good wood on it.
Yeah, and that's all they needed after D. Gordon came through with the RBIs. The Mariners squeak past the World Series champs tonight.
All right, Jen, David, thank you very much. This was very reminiscent to the first game of the season where they scratch out a run against Corey Kluber, 2 against Corey Kluber, win it 2-1. Kluber the distance of loss. Tonight, Keuchel the distance of loss. What this kind of says to me is Paxton can match their starting pitcher, any of their pitchers. And right now, the Mariners' offense, as we talked about in the pregame, is just a little bit better than Houston's offense right now.
Yeah, I think James has actually proven to us that he can pitch with anybody. When he's on, he is as good as anybody in the game of baseball. But the thing I loved right there about David Freitas, there's no better feeling, folks, than to catch a win and actually do something on the offensive side. It's kind of like a little icing on the cake. And David Freitas had that, got the big hit, and also scored the run, the go-ahead run, and ended up being the winning run for the ball game. So, Brad, he gets to walk off the field with a W in his pocket,
feeling
a run
good,
scored,
and
a base hit.
Asking the pitchers what they want to throw, and it worked out.
Sometimes the pitchers do know
what they're talking about?
Sometimes.
You let them believe that they know what they're talking about.
You got to let them think it's their idea.
Exactly. Like, hey, Eddie, your slider's looking good. You want to keep throwing your slider? Yeah, and it did, and it worked out very well. Well, they walked the leadoff batter, gets him in scoring position, but then he goes fly ball to center, then punch out, his 7th save. The Mariners take game 1 of the big 4-game set. 2-1 the final. Not a lot of offense, but still some highlights to show you. That's coming up. We're going to go inside the clubhouse to get reaction as well.